Do you ever wonder about the future? Do you ever try to plan your life around what could happen? Scenario planning is an incredibly useful tool for predicting various paths based on current projections and then using those to help direct your decisions today. My name is Sydney Dick, and I'll be discussing scenario planning. It's a tool that's being implemented in mining, and its use will likely increase. This presentation will first give some background on the industry, then take a look at some scenarios for nickel mining, and finally apply those scenarios through the perspective of the London Mining Corporation. London Mining Corporation is a company that started in 1994 based out of Toronto, Ontario, but operates worldwide today. They have mines in Brazil, Chile, Portugal, Sweden, and Miami, which are active right now. They specialize in mining gold, silver, copper, nickel, lead, zinc, base, and precious metals. In 2013, they acquired the entire Eagle project from Rio Tinto, and in 2016, they discovered the Eagle East project. These are both very significant to their business. Their latest market cap as of February 28, 2023, totaled $6.55 billion. 103 million shares were traded as of their last operating year at a share price of about $8.35. However, they experienced a large drop in stock prices in the last 2 quarters of 2022 after they discovered a large sinkhole about 32 meters in diameter in their mine in Chile. However, revenues have still increased since 2017 as seen by a consistently increasing dividend. They stress sustainable mining and show 5 targets they are working toward, which includes good governance, business resilience, environmental stewardship, thriving communities, and an empowered workforce. One of their goals towards sustainability is to reduce their emissions by 33% by 2030. Nickel is highly desirable for its high melting point, ductility, ability to be used in alloys, catalytic properties, and resistance to corrosion and oxidation. It was first identified in 1751. But before it was identified as an element, it was considered the devil's copper, because it appeared to be a copper ore but was deemed worse. However, it's been used as an alloying metal hundreds of years prior. It started to be mined industrially in 1848 when it was seen as more desirable. Mining for nickel began in Canada in 1886 and continues in eastern Canada today. Nickel is first made into a usable material and then applied to smaller industries. It's widely used in stainless steel, alloys, and alloy steel, which is used in construction. Once made into a useful metal, it is used in construction, transport, electronics, engineering, and metal goods. The uses of nickel will clearly dictate the economy surrounding it. As of now, the factors that influence the nickel market include decreasing natural assets, larger companies dominating the market, economic uncertainty, government regulation, changes in battery technology, technological inventions, changes in the supply chain, political unrest, increased value on a green world, and changes in demand. The factors that are considered givens in this analysis are a rise in demand for battery-powered cars, an increase in population, changes in the way global trade is conducted, and technological increases always increase productivity. The factors which are considered low influence in the market include changes in economic currencies and prices, the case of a natural disaster, and changes in the cost of borrowing money. The drivers will be the ones considered for the scenario matrix. Each driver was put into a category with other drivers that might fit into a scenario, and after some iterations, 4 clear quadrants emerged. The axes were labeled according to trends within each driver grouping, including the level of government influence on the industry, as well as the amount of technological increase within the time considered, which was approximately 20 years. Each driver fits into its quadrant and will be further synthesized into one scenario. In the first scenario, which implements new technologies and is under free trade, the nickel mining industry thrives. New technologies increase nickel mining productivity, new mines are discovered primarily in North America, and there's a high demand for nickel, especially in electric vehicle batteries. A government regulation on driving further pushes the battery industry, which is more accessible for people under this scenario. The economy is durable and resilient, as is society. Under this scenario, London mining should push new technology to stand out among other mining companies, which are all fighting for competition in the market. They could do this by securing more contracts with stainless steel or construction steel companies, which are also likely growing with a strong economy and growing population. Given London is able to at least maintain or even exceed the status quo, they may be able to buy out a smaller nickel mining company, which may not have been able to keep up with such rapid increases in technology. London should prioritize mining in North America and selling to the growing local economy. In the second scenario, technological advances are still present, but government intervention has replaced free trade. Both government and society are extremely concerned with the amount of carbon emissions emitted, and so restrictions and quotas begin to take over the market. Economic uncertainty arises, and some mines are even shut down due to pollution. Under this scenario, companies must compete for a top spot in technology, which will be the only way to stay afloat under such restrictions. Some smaller companies are bought out by larger ones, which were able to adapt and implement technology quickly, as well as please society by being so-called green enough. Chinese nickel mining is likely to dominate the market under this scenario, as North American companies would prefer to pay for overseas nickel than allow local emissions from mining. Under scenario 2, London should prioritize technological advancement very heavily to remain competitive in the market. They might consider investing in recycling nickel as well. As North American regulations are expected to be greater than international, they would benefit from international marketing and trade. Given that their techniques with adopting new technology is successful, they might be able to purchase a smaller company that was not able to survive under these conditions. In the third scenario, government regulation on mining is still prevalent, but the industry has not been able to discover or adopt new technology, either because it is unavailable or it's too expensive for what it actually offers. Under old school techniques, quotas and goals for the mining industry are implemented externally. Challenges to nickel mining increase as old school techniques just can't keep up with increasing demand and decreasing resources. There's an unsatisfied demand for energy, transport, and other resources. The cost of borrowing money increases, making it even more difficult to fund exploration and operation. Eventually, under such tough conditions, new inventions which use materials besides nickel start to take place. Under this scenario, London would benefit from spreading out risk and diversifying, prioritizing gold, silver, and copper mining instead. They would also likely do better purchasing and running a nickel recycling plant than trying to continue mining. In the fourth scenario, free trade replaces government intervention, but old school techniques are still used. There's a trend of decreasing natural assets as old school techniques just can't keep up with demand. China continues to dominate nickel mining as it is now, since North American companies can't catch up nearly as much under this scenario. As a result, there may be changes in the supply chain and economic currencies. Under scenario 4, London should attempt to secure new mines. They could benefit from a partnership with either a steel or electric vehicle company so that trade is consistent and more reliable. Under the case of a natural disaster, London would thrive in producing steel used for construction. As there is always some uncertainty with the future, there are certain signposts that point toward one scenario or another. Some recent ones include a push for electric vehicles, which is supported by governments in North America, the newest idea of 15-minute cities, in which residents don't need to travel more than 15 minutes for anything, which contributes to a greener Earth, cellular devices tracking people's location and selling the data externally, offering things like the lowest carbon route on maps, movements toward more artificial intelligence, with recent breakthroughs in society such as ChatGPT, the passing of Bill C-11 in Canada in February 2023, which enables the CRTC to censor all social media sites, and a common history of resistance to change in the mining industry. While some of these signposts are not particularly within the mining industry, they show the trends and values in society which directly affect the mining industry. The trend shown here is primarily towards scenario 2, which involves higher government involvement in the industry and more technological advances. Though trends point toward the second scenario, there are still uncertainties about how the future will play out. London's best option would be to recognize some key actions that are beneficial under at least 2 or more scenarios and prioritize those as the next 20 years unfold. There's a common theme of increasing demand for nickel, so getting involved and even partnering with companies in stainless steel, construction steel, and electric vehicle companies could be extremely profitable. 3 scenarios support the acquisition of new mines, and another 3 suggest prioritizing the North American market, though they shouldn't ditch the international market completely. London should stress business resilience, as they've already noted on their website, by using technology and digitization, ensuring sustained growth for the future. If they can do this well, they can compete and stand out in the market, possibly even buying out a company that maybe can't keep up. One common trend across all 4 scenarios is ensuring positive publicity, which is done by treating employees well and satisfying customers' changing demands. Another is to look for technology that is best at ensuring sustainability, as signposts point toward increasing value on this. Thanks for watching my presentation on scenario planning. I hope you enjoyed it.